I remember it was about 18 years ago that Gene and Dan and I and about 15 other folks who were on the show, I believe, came over, and we had a practice mass here. We practiced, but we were going to open the doors to the next week. And tested the sound systems, the lights, the candles, everything like that. And to see from the 17 folks who came to that first Mass, the growth and it's just totally incredible and a wonderful experience and a great joy for me to see how something can just continue on, but not only continue on, but grow to the extent that it has today. And it's just, I'm just happy to be here this morning. I don't know how it happened that I came. Father mentioned about telling the staff to get a preach. This is the last 2 weeks of the year when we're talking about what we call in the South the end times. Things are, So he must have told the staff, and they said, who should we get? And they said, Dan probably said, well, get the oldest priest you can find, and let them see what the end times look like, Hearing aids, gray hair, glasses, slow gait, that's what it all looks like, I want to thank you for that. It's a pleasure being here on this weekend. And, well, you do begin to feel that, I've had the experience of growing old, and some folks are here doing the same, and it's interesting, it's fascinating. I remember a few years ago, I was driving up to Washington. It was about 10 o'clock at night. I was passing through Richmond, Virginia, and I was going to continue on to Washington, D.C., and I needed a cup of coffee. And I go into Burger King. I walked into the Burger King, and the lovely gal was there, and she was standing there, and she said, what would you like? And I said, I'd like a cup of coffee. And she said, fine. She goes, get the coffee, puts it in front of me, and walks off. And I said, well, don't I do anything? Don't I pay? And she turned around and she said, no, there's no charge for it. And I said, why? And she said, because you're so old. I said, young lady, I think you should go back to Burger King University and take their master's program. And learn that you say you're one of our respected senior citizens. It was just too much. And then this gospel story, the last 2 weeks are all about getting old and going on, and whether Jesus is coming now or later and all that. And down where I was in Kinston, people talked about the end times, and they were really convinced that this is the end times. I mean, all sorts of bad things are happening. And so my barber was that way, but usually when it's around the parish, people ask me about the end times. I say, now you've got to take this serious. Look, the world's going to be here much longer. Everything's going to be fine. You have to understand that people have said that for centuries, that now is the time. And even one of the apostles warns us, don't think that way, because only God the Father knows. And so be careful about that. And so I go to the barber shop, and my barber, he was one of those end-timers, and he was standing there, and I'm sitting there, I don't want him to bring this up. I don't want him to bring it up. But he does. Always towards the end of the haircut, right when he's going to trim the little back of your neck and do all that, he's taking that sharp razor and he's going like that in the strap. He says, preacher, don't you think we're in the end times? I said, whatever you believe. And I had my neck sliced over that. Yeah. So, but anyway, when you are at my age, you begin to see things a little differently. Life is so interesting. You continue on through life, and the young people, and we like to, as I remember it back then, collect things. I just always collecting stuff, wanting this real good camera, and then just different stuff that you were thinking of. This little TV that was a little bit better than the other TVs that came out 3 years ago and all that. And you're doing that and getting things, and you're in that collecting stage, and you That's interesting. As you grow older, you know now, and this is experience I've had in my life, and a lot of people are facing the same experience as they retire and so forth like that. You can't get rid of the stuff. I go to people's homes, they're moving, going to another city or going to a condo or something like that, and they ask their children, do you want this dining room table? Mother, I wouldn't have that thing for anything. It's too big. It's too big. People don't want your stuff. Take it to Dorcas shop. That's what you got to do, you know. It's just so funny the way it all changes when you have this different perspective. I even tried to get rid of a rug the other day. I called Father Dan about it, and he said, no, I don't want it. He didn't ask. No, he didn't ask the color. He didn't ask the size. He didn't ask anything. He didn't want it. You got the stuff, and so you begin to think of life differently. You begin to think about, well, what's this all about anyway? And what am I going to leave? And not only when am I going to leave, but what am I going to leave? And you begin to think of life in different terms. And here's a story of an interesting thing. It's, what are we going to pass on? And here's the story of an Indian chief. I'll read it. It's very interesting. For years, this tribe of the Indian chief had been camped at the base of a mountain. So he summoned his 3 sons before him, and he said, I want you, one of you, to succeed me as head of this tribe. And I have the same task for each of you, and it'll help me decide who becomes the head of the tribe. I want you to climb our holy mountain and bring back something beautiful. The one whose gift is most outstanding will be the one to succeed me. And so the following morning, the sons set out on their search, each taking a different path up the holy mountain. After several days, they returned, and the tribe was standing around the chief, and he was there, and they came up to see their father. And the first he had in his hands a flower which grew near the very top of the mountain. It was rare, and it was a beautiful flower, and he handed it to his father. And the second brought his father a valuable stone. It was shiny. It had been up on the mountain as well, and it had been the wind and the sand had made it so shiny and beautiful. And he handed his father that beautiful stone. And when the third son approached the father, the crowd standing around noticed his hands were empty. And everyone saw that. And he said, Father, I have brought back nothing to show you. For as I stood at the top of the holy mountain, I saw that on the other side of the mountain was a beautiful land filled with green pasture. I had a vision of where our tribe could go for a better life. I was so overwhelmed by what I could see that I could bring nothing back to you, Father, and I'm sorry for that. And the father said, yes, you shall be this tribe's new leader. You have brought back the most precious gift of all, the gift of vision for a better future. Scriptures are filled with all of this. This is the whole meaning of Daniel's vision and all these different visions that they had. Jacob sent forth his sons with a blessing. Moses, he encouraged faith and steadfastness in his people as he had the vision of God for them. In my own time, I've seen people with vision as well. I'm thinking of Pope John the 23rd. He called the church together, all over 2,000 bishops in Rome. Called them together just for them to contemplate and to think about and to discern where the church should go in this century. Where he wanted some fresh air in the place. He said, let's open some windows. Let's do some aggiornamento. Let's make some changes around here. And the bishops did just that. He didn't engineer it all. No, the bishops. They just took hold of it, discussed it, became enthusiastic in each other's presence, and did the things that we know right now. This altar facing the people, the Mass in English, all those different things. But the biggest thing they did was to get the laity involved. When I was a child, everything was done by priests and sisters. Now we have all of our wonderful lay people that are involved. I couldn't believe it here this morning, just to see their involvement. Yeah, that all came out of an older man's vision. I was at St. Paul's outside the walls when he mentioned he was going to call a council and nobody believed him. It took 3 or 4 days for the whole Vatican to get their act together to realize he's really saying he's going to do this. And when they came to him and said, we can't do it in 4 years, we can't do it in 5 years, it's impossible. He said, well, let's do it in 3. And they did it. It was an unbelievable time, exciting time of a vision being fulfilled. And over the years I've seen that. I've seen Bishop Waters here in our diocese. Cardinal Gibbons has been closed. And he had the vision for opening it back up again. And look at Cardinal Gibbons High School now with all of its programs and over 1,000 students attending there, and their sports program, and everything, drama, all that. Thousands and hundreds of people have been affected by this through the years now. Yeah, I've seen out in my own witnesses, here seen the laity as witness that they've given to me over the years, a new church for Cary. They've talked about maybe we need a new church out in Cary. Well, maybe we do. And a lady by the name of Aida de la Posa. She was a teacher over at North Carolina State. She just grabbed hold of everything, and she got the lay committee together, and they just did that. They got the land purchased, and they did all that they needed to do to build St. Michael's Church that you pass so often and see the hundreds of cars around every day. Yeah, it was her vision and others that she excited in them, and they're all taking hold of things. That's like, and so then there was the whole idea of, after we built the church out there, I told people we'd never have a school here. Well, that didn't happen. It didn't happen because lay people wanted a school. Moms and dads wanted education, Catholic education for their children, and they came and they approached the bishop first, and me as well, and we do now have those 2 schools here in this part of the county of Western Red. One in Apex and one here at St. Michael's. All because of people having a vision and saying things can be done and we're going to do it. And that's exactly what happened. You know, you don't have to look far for this. I can just see the vision here at Green Hope. All the people that are involved here and now in this community, the wonderful work that's been done, and the laity that have been just energized by so many folks here in the work of the Spirit. And so just recently, a few months ago, and seen times pass as quickly. So like the story of the Indian chief, Father Dan went with a group of lay people. They didn't go over a holy mountain. They went across Highway 55. And they found the land over there and decided this is going to be the place where we're going to extend our church. We're going to continue to build on the education at all levels and the enthusiasm in the community that's here. Oh, what a vision that chief knew as he grabbed his son and told him he was going to lead forth, because he was going to make a better place for his people. And that's the vision your committee has here for this beautiful community at Green Hope, to make a better place. To take something that is going to be very beautiful, a gift to our loving God, for His glory, so that His kingdom may continue and grow by His people in our time. And has that vision enthused the tribe? Yes, it has. I was talking to somebody just before the Mass, first Mass. I said, well, how's things going? And he said, well, we're going to build a new setting, out here. We're going to get things really going. I said, what's that feel like? And he said, to be on the ground floor of something that's going to be wonderful. He said, it gives you a sense of enthusiasm. It just thrills me, actually, to think we're going to be doing this. And I think that's what it's about. I began this homily by speaking of the joy I have in being here and seeing what's done. The Lord has blessed me with so many happy years. And just to see and to offer with Father Dan this Mass, to be at his side, what a joy it will be in the months ahead. To see a structure arise that is not just one that a few have built, that's often the case, or a structure that the state of North Carolina and the county of Wake built here, but it's going to be what you folks have done. And that's going to be a prideful moment. You'll have it as you gather for Mass. You'll have that joy and that happiness as you take your children there for further education and education for the adults. You'll have it as you go to confirmations, and you'll have it with your grandchildren, some of you, as they're baptized there. And you can say, look, this is what I've done, as you grab your children and your relatives from of various places. Not just another thing for me to possess and try to get rid of later, but something that I visualized along with folks here at Green Hope, that I made happen so that many can enjoy it for years to come. And so I wish to thank all those, the committee that's done so much and thought about this and prayed about it so greatly, and all the members of this community. God bless you in your efforts in bringing this project to completion. It's all by the intercession of Mother Teresa of Calcutta, your involvement, your sacrificial monetary gifts. We will soon see this beautiful gift for God become a reality here in Western Wake